Hello. Thank you for listening to and watching You Had Options. This episode I have my friend Valerie on. We discuss the goings on with her OnlyFans account. She talks about how certain places kind of seem to be shadow banning her. Whole bunch of BS, and yeah, we also discussed the Twilight Zone for a long time, so buckle up for that. Hopefully you guys enjoy the Twilight Zone. If not, I think you'll still enjoy the episode. Yeah, you can find Valerie on Instagram at ValerieIsRad77. You can find her OnlyFans account. It's just at ValerieIsRad. Yeah, go support her. Go support the podcast. Go find us at youhadoptions on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow and subscribe, all that good stuff, to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Thanks for listening and watching. Okay.
All right.
Hey, Valerie. Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks for coming back. How are you?
Man. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm wearing in honor of talking with you.
Oh,
my D.D. King shirt.
I know that shirt.
Yeah. Think I bought it from y'all like a year ago or so.
It looks good. Nice.
Has the D.D. Ramone estate contacted you about a cease and desist?
Not yet. No. Any day now.
Yeah. You guys are just waiting.
Yeah. Just in here waiting.
Yeah. So we recorded an episode earlier, but I felt like I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, that's fine. It was a rehearsal. That's all.
Yeah.
Just a rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It was our first time chatting, so I felt like we had a lot to talk about.
That's true.
And we got that out of the way, so now we're friends.
Yeah, we are friends. Contractually obligated to friendship now. I find doing this, it's mostly me like cold messaging people, being like, "Hey, I think you're cool. Would you want to talk for like
chat?
45 minutes to an hour?" And I think
are most people down with that you contact? Or are they like, "No, thank you"?
I've only got a few straight up no's, and it's never like mean. It's always like, I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, okay. It's kind of weird.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I find most people enjoy talking and talking about themselves, not in a weird way, because it's,
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
We're going. So last time you were telling me how you had done like one or two podcasts before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just one. Yeah. It was a friend of mine back in Southern California. He has a podcast kind of similar to this, I think, where he just kind of chats with people from all kinds of things.
Right.
But when I was on, excuse me, it was, we were talking about like sex work in general.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. But yeah, it was fun. It's called Life on Blast, if you want to check it out. But my episode was recorded about a little under a year ago, I think.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Other than that, this is the only one. I try to do my own.
Right.
My own podcast, and I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So you just to get to it, you have an OnlyFans account.
I do. Yeah. I am a sex worker.
Right.
It's my only job right now. But yeah, I do. I have an OnlyFans if you want to check it out.
Has most, just from the OnlyFans side, has it been mostly positive?
Yeah. I started, it's actually coming up on my 1 year anniversary, since I started my OnlyFans. But, for the most part, yeah, it's been a pretty positive experience. For most people, like 2020 was kind of a crazy year.
Right.
And, I started, doing sex work because I managed a bar back in California, and it wasn't the same when everything kind of started happening.
Right.
And I was just looking for like supplemental income, and I had a lot of people telling me like, "Oh, you should start an OnlyFans. Like, you should do this." And I was very shy at first when I started it. I didn't show nudity.
Okay.
It was just like lingerie,
Hand modeling.
but hand modeling pretty much. But it's come a long way.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's coming up on my 1 year anniversary, and like the year was crazy, but since I started, like I've since quit bartending, and I'm just doing this full time. So it's kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah. I've never been on OnlyFans, so is it people just subscribe? I know what I've been. Of course, I've been to the website.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, I can't log in.
But so people are able to request whatever, and you're able to be like, hey, that's too weird, or
yeah. Well, yeah. The way it works is OnlyFans doesn't necessarily have to be just for like creeps or porn or any of that stuff. Really, like I know they're kind of pushing to get more people involved, like comedians and like actors and that whole thing, chefs and personal trainers. But it is also very big on like the porn industry, which is what I offer. So for the most part, like I post what I'd like to post. Like I post a lot of lingerie. I post a lot of like explicit photos and video sets. But yeah, I do also offer, not everyone does, but like, I do also offer customs. So if somebody wants me to do something specific, like to their request, I do offer that. I don't get a lot of weird things. I just get a lot of like, I want to see this, I want to see that, do this. And I offer a lot of things already. But as far as like weird custom requests have gone, I mean, recently I had someone ask me to sit on a cake, and I did that because it was like my anniversary. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll celebrate with a cake. But it was, no, I just say it so casually. Oh, I sat on a cake. No, there's a whole like spectrum of people that are into messy fetishes and, sit on weird things, making a mess of yourself. Like I guess the weirdest request that I had received, and this was back when I first started, so I was kind of a newbie to the whole thing, was for, it's called, I think I'm saying it right, gunge. But it's pretty much like, okay, you've seen like Double Dare, right? Like,
yeah.
You know about getting slimed.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's like people want to see a woman or whoever get slimed. So I had some, I guess it's pretty big in like, like European countries or England or something. Okay. I don't know. Overseas. Gotcha. But yeah. So one of my first clients, he paid me to dump cake batter on my head. And just kind of feel like humiliated about it. So that was probably at first the weirdest thing I've encountered. But other than that, most of my stuff has been pretty tame. Like I'm willing to do other things, like things that I like personally, and I do that kind of stuff a lot. But I haven't got any super weird requests yet. See what's coming. I don't know what Michael has planned.
Are you familiar with the Jim Henson '90s show Dinosaurs?
Yeah. Is that?
I'm just joking.
Are we doing something?
I'm just joking.
Where are we going with this?
I'm just joking.
Let me take notes.
Yeah. I'm into Jim Henson dinosaur play is what I'm getting at, Valerie.
That's fine, man. Everyone has something, true. And who am I to judge?
That's true.
So I sit on cakes and spit all over myself. You might like seeing baby dinosaurs. That's okay.
Was it an expensive cake?
No, it was like $12.
Okay.
But it was kind of a bummer though, because as I was filming this video, my phone just decided to like turn off.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize it until I was done. And I was like, okay, let's go press stop. Shit. It's not recording. And I was so bummed because while I got the initial like cake sitting, I didn't get any of the after play. And by then I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to sit in a cake again.
Another
like
cake?
Yeah, like I'm done. So I just had to clean it up. So, yeah.
But it
wasn't expensive.
Is Ramones play a thing?
I mean, probably. I mean, I get so many people that just message me. They're like, "You like Ramones? Show me boobs." And I'm like, "You got it."
You are in luck.
That's all I needed.
Well,
but I do get a lot of people who find me, and like, I don't know. I get a lot of people that are like, "Why would I pay for OnlyFans when, you know, I can see whatever I want for free on the internet?" And I totally get that. Like, there's so much porn out there you can get for free. But personally, I think a lot of people, you know, they want something that's a little more personal. They want to have a connection with somebody that's not necessarily just like,
thanks for paying me.
Yeah, you know, and like, yeah, you can get a lot of free porn, but I think that you might not get a girl who's going to talk to you about her favorite Ramones songs. And like, you know, like I've made videos before where like I'm like, you know, masturbating to like the Ramones playing in the background because that's just something that I would do in my normal life. So for a dude who's super obsessed with Ramones, he might be stoked to be like, oh, there's this girl that does this stuff and listens to Ramones just like me, you know? Right. So, you know, but yeah, so I think there is some Ramones fetishes out there. I haven't worn like a Marky Ramone wig yet and done anything, but just covered myself in spaghetti sauce. Yeah, I haven't gone there yet.
Is Marky Ramone, he wears a wig, right?
What's a wig? I assume he does. He looks like he does. Have you heard the Howard Stern interview with him and Joey?
You're a dry drunk and you wear
your mother wears a wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I assume he does.
The Stern.
I can't confirm.
Maybe if you see him in public, if you can just try and snatch it off and just see what happens. I
could. I actually came close to meeting him once. Not close enough to grab his wig, but I saw the Misfits play. God, this was
Jerry
early
Only
2000s.
And Des Cadena and Marky Ramone.
Yes. And a really good friend of mine, Perla, was friends with them. She actually ended up marrying Des later, and she was pretty close to all of them. She's since passed away, and I love her. And she's a huge influence in who I am today. Right. But we were hanging out after the show because I was like, Perla has to be here when I was seeing them. Where's Perla? So I was like texting her, like, where are you? And she didn't respond. And like 2 seconds later, they were like, we're going to bring out our friend Perla. And she came out and she played Blitzkrieg Bop with them. And then after the show, we were hanging out and she was like, hey, do you want to meet Marky? And I was like, of course I want to meet Marky, you know? And we're standing outside. Their tour bus is like off in the distance. And he comes walking out and she's like, hey, Mark, come meet my friend Valerie. And he turns and he looks at me and he goes, no. And keeps walking and gets on the bus. So had I been close enough, I would have tried to check to see what was under, but he didn't give me the time of day. So
damn, it makes me want to know more that he won't.
Right?
Like, he just denied you. He was just
but like I don't know. I'm kind of glad that's how that story went because I feel like that's even better than being like, oh yeah, I met him. He was okay. Yeah. Like I like being like, oh, he hated me. He didn't want to come near me.
Didn't even want to talk to me. Took one look at me.
He looked at me and said no.
Yeah, that's
I love it.
I went and saw Morrissey like 12 years ago, and I was like waiting outside, as a bunch of people were like waiting outside as he was like after he had just finished, and he was just like rushed from the venue to his bus, and all these like middle-aged dudes are like, Morrissey. Kind of reminds me of that, where he's just like, no, don't even look at me,
Yeah, just leave me alone.
Don't look at me. Oh, but keep looking at me. But don't look at me. Well,
sorry, Eric just walked in.
Oh, that's cool.
He has to go through our room to get to the basement, so he's taking a shortcut.
Down in the basement? Cool, wow.
In the basement.
Wow. Eric is your partner.
He's my partner, yes.
Yeah. And he's in the Jetty Boys.
He's in the Jetty Boys and Spruce Springsteen, and he was in the Leghounds, if you're familiar with any of those bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Jetty Boys and Spruce Springsteen. And yeah, this is where, I can't remember if it's on your page or his page, the DD King.
Your shirt? Yeah. Mondo Bizarro merch. Yeah, we make shirts and stuff. So check them out.
What was the last like batch of shirts you guys were making?
We did Eric made this really cool art out of it's like a Ramones parody, but it's like Simpsons related because I'm a huge Simpsons nerd.
Right.
And it says bullies, and then it has like all the bullies' names around the seal. So that was one of the last ones we did. We constantly get orders for more DD King shirts.
Yeah.
And he's done, like, I think for bands, he did one for, oh God, I hope I say their name right. The Zonoids.
Okay.
Zonoid? Oh. But some other band, he did a bunch of shirts for them. So he works a lot with Hey Pizza Records and like the Demi Room podcast. I'm familiar with those guys at all. So a lot of the bands like will come through him, which is pretty cool. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice. And he does tattoos as well. He's a tattoo artist.
Yeah. He's a tattoo artist. Yes.
Has he given you any pieces?
Oh yeah, he's given me a ton of them.
A million?
We have a few matching tattoos. We have one that's Ramones inspired. It says Togar sucks, like from Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah.
And then it has a little mouse with a leather jacket and headphones on. So he tattooed that on me, and he tattooed on himself. I have a Point Break tattoo that he did. I have another Patrick Swayze tattoo that he did. Those were both done in a hotel room when we were both a little wasty. So they're not the best tattoos, but good stories. No, he's done a few on me. He did my stomach. I have a couple Simpsons tattoos he's done. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's
having him there.
It's nice to have a partner who is a good tattoo artist. That comes
for
in
sure.
handy.
Yeah. It saved me some money for sure. That's why I keep him around, making shirts and giving me tattoos.
What's your Point Break tattoo?
It's on the back of my leg, and it's a hand. It's actually Eric's hand, because he used it for reference. And then in a banner around it, it says, Utah, get me two. About, Utah, get me two meatball subs.
Right.
So I have that. And then on my arm, one of these arms, oh yeah, it's like right here somewhere. It says Swayze Forever Dude in candy hearts. And that was towards the end of the evening when we were like really drunk. I was like, I needed to say Swayze Forever Dude. I was like, oh my God, it's the best idea I've ever had. I was like, it was my idea. And then it ended up on my arm.
Whenever you guys were in California, did you ever go see the Point Break stage play?
No, but I have heard about it. I've had lots of people tell me I should go see it. But I have two kids. So when we lived in California, we just recently moved to Wisconsin. We've been here. We moved in September of last year, so it's like 6 months or whatever. I don't know. But back in California, I have two kids, and I was working full time, and he was working, and it was really hard for us to do anything ever. So a big reason why we moved out here is because I could stay home and work, like do OnlyFans, and like we just have so much more time, because in California we're in traffic so much and everything's so far away. And I love California so much and I miss it, but I felt like I never had time to explore any of my creative side or have any free time to do anything. So so no, I didn't get to see the Point Break thing.
Oh, man. maybe when stuff starts opening back up and y'all can go back out to California. Yeah, my some good friends of mine went and saw it, and I think during the because they do the skydiving scene where like people are like, I can't remember if they're suspended or they do it somehow, but they get somebody to play Johnny Utah.
Cody? Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, and that's great. I just loved it. The idea of it, that it's because the movie's great, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
But
it's one of my favorites.
To take something to off Broadway it's different,
Yeah, I saw the Evil Dead the musical. Did you ever see that?
That
was pretty fun. I saw that in Vegas a few years ago, and it was really cool. I don't know. We didn't sit in there's like a splash zone where like all the fake blood comes out, and we didn't sit there. But afterward, you get to meet the Ash and like take your picture with them, and it was super cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah. I would love to see the Point Break off Broadway thing. I could play Johnny Utah, I'm sure.
I think, I think if you got there and you showed them your chops, and you'd be like, I know this part.
I'd be like, I'm going to do Bodhi and Johnny Utah at once.
It can be, if you go, it can be like a one-man show type of thing.
Yeah. All right, I'm in. Done. It's going to open in Sheboygan, Wisconsin this summer.
Sheboygan, yeah. I'm sure there's a stage in Sheboygan you could get your reps in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a lot of things. I have coffee and soda and water.
Right now I have I bought some Jack Daniels, and I have a lemon LaCroix on the table, and
nice
an Americano that I'm working on.
Stay hydrated.
I'm trying. Yeah, I find that I constantly have like at least 4 beverages of different.
Oh, dude.
Different types.
Well, I need water just to be healthy, and then I need coffee to wake me up, and then I need soda because it's yummy, and then I need beer because it's fun. So like I'm constantly like, got to keep my levels leveled.
Right. Wow. So, we've talked about your different fandoms of Ramones, and we touched on Simpsons a little bit. Does Eric have extreme fandom of things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously
extreme in a good way, not like, you know.
Yeah, not in a like, ew, God.
Not like
no.
in a, that's a little much. Not like that.
Yeah. Well, we're hoarders. I'm just kidding. Thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry.
But no, we both kind of, like Ramones bonded us a lot in our relationship, and our whole like living room is like Ramones kind of themed. But he's also like super into like he loves like Nintendo and Mario especially. So we also have like a little section of our house that's kind of like Mario themed. He likes Star Wars, but he doesn't really like collect anything.
Yeah.
In our house, okay, so we have our Ramones museum. We have a Simpsons shrine in the kitchen, which is all my Simpsons merch. Okay. We have our little Nintendo corner. And I think that's it. We used to have a Patrick Swayze shrine at our old house, but since the move, we haven't been able to kind of recreate it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Those 4 things. Our home.
So the Ramon shrine, do you guys have like, are you to the point of like trying to buy like personal items on eBay of?
We've looked, like there's been a couple like sales. Like I think CJ did a sale where he was selling a lot of stuff that he like used on tours. There was like, I think I saw like the handwritten lyrics to Poison Heart, like Dee Dee wrote out. So we've been like watching things, but like we're also very poor, so we can't really get anything that's expensive.
I feel that.
We have a couple posters that are like actually like original posters from like releases and stuff.
Yeah.
We have, what do we have? We have like I have an Acid Eaters poster that somebody gave me that was a promo poster for his record store.
Shit.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. We have like little things like that. We met CJ, so we have like his set list and like some pics and stuff. But for the most part, it's just like little things that, we either have purchased or created ourselves, or like a lot of our friends make art. So we have a couple pieces that like friends created for us that hang up around. But if anybody has any authentic, like firsthand stuff and they want to get rid of it for free, I will take it.
I'll
put it in the Ramones Museum.
I will send them your way. The Sheboygan.
Thanks, friends.
Ramones
Sheboygan
Museum.
Ramones Museum.
Yeah.
It's funny, when we lived back in California, we lived in Redlands, and we used to call it the Redlands Ramones Museum. And I had friends who would actually like message me and be like, "Wait, is this your house? Or like, can we visit this? Like, what are your hours?" And I was like, No, it's just my living room, but you can come over.
You can come chill.
I can come chill.
Yeah, I saw CJ whenever like 4 or 5 years ago. And he had a couple of the Huntingtons like as his backing band.
Yeah.
And we were able to play with the Huntingtons last year and kind of make friends with them. And I was like, inside, I was like, they played with CJ Ramone,
Touch you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rules.
But on the outside, I'm like, oh yeah, asking me about like gear and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, my bass,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Trying to be cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's the Ramones are so great because like the anti rock star type image, I think, with like, because Joey Ramone doesn't look like Axl Rose.
No.
And I think that's part of the, for me at least, that's part of the appeal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, aside from them making like,
great songs,
some of the best music. Yeah, exactly. They, they were just like us, and that they were like misfits and weirdos, and they had, mental illness and addictions and all kinds of stuff. So it's like, it's just relatable, right. I think, as opposed to being like these big rock stars,
Yeah. I think, I think last time we were talking, I I can't remember if you said Dee Dee was your favorite or Joey, but it's a tough
tie. Let's just say it's
go
a tie.
between. Yeah. But like I don't know. There's something about the kind of like you were just saying, like normal, like kind of brokenness of people, and especially watching like the is it Hey, Is Dee Dee Home? You know, that documentary, and just seeing like, oh man, this guy just couldn't get it together. You know, that's something that is like a soft spot for me.
Oh, so it's like heartbreaking and enduring at the same time. You're like, ugh.
Right.
Like you just want them to be okay, but you know how the story ends. So it's like, oh, that sucks.
Damn. But those songs, like those later, like late 80s, 90s, like Dee Dee songs of like Poison Heart and like Pet Cemetery are some of the best.
Oh, for sure. He's like, God, what's the phrase I'm looking for? You know what I mean when you're dumb, but you're smart.
Savant?
You know what yes, he's like an idiot savant. That's it.
Yeah. You know, like it seems like he didn't even know like what he was doing, like writing songs. It was just like, that is good. You know, write the song.
That works.
Yeah. But yeah, lovable losers.
For sure.
Yeah. But to piggyback on your fandom, Twilight Zone is a big thing I noticed.
Yeah.
Do you remember the earliest viewings of Twilight Zone, or like why you got why you got bit?
That, you know what, that's funny you ask, because that's one of those things where like I don't really remember. Like I remember watching Dirty Dancing as a kid and like falling in love. I remember Pet Cemetery as a kid and like falling in love. I remember Ramones, but I don't know. I mean, I used to watch a lot of TV at my grandma's house when I was younger. Yeah. So I assume maybe something around then, but it's just kind of always been around as far back as I can remember. I don't know. I remember being little and watching. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so I used to carry around like a little like recorder and record myself and like pretend I had a radio show.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was cool. My mom passed away when I was like 1. Okay. But I remember recording the show and thinking in my silly little stupid kid brain, like, it's going to be broadcast and I'm going to find a new mom. Oh. Don't cry. It's fine. Wow. But I remember reviewing Twilight Zone episodes and talking about, I think the episode's called The Living Doll. I think, but it's where the doll comes to life. She's like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
Talking Tina.
Yeah, Talking Tina.
And Talking Tina. Yeah. I remember reviewing that episode and thinking, this is going to do it. This is going to get me a mom. Like, what a weirdo kid I was to think that. But around then, I was probably in like kindergarten. So sometime around then, I guess. Wow. There's your long answer. Wow. Lots to unpack there, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's touched, you know. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, a little weird. Explains a lot.
But so as a kid, you were oh yeah, you were just all in on Twilight.
Well, like I was saying, like my mom passed away when I was little, so I was raised by just my dad. Okay. And he kind of let me do whatever I wanted. I mean, within reason. Right. Like I couldn't have a cat, and I couldn't go outside if he wasn't awake. But I could watch like Pretty Woman every morning, and like whatever shows I wanted. So I remember being little, being exposed to a lot of things that like most kids probably weren't. Like I watched a lot of horror movies, and like I said, Pretty Woman was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Big mistake. Yeah. Huge.
But yeah, so I think that's probably it. But yeah, I remember watching Twilight Zone as like, as far back as I can remember, and it's one of those things like that and I Love Lucy, which they just feel so comforting to me. I don't know if it's like, just the black and white or the nostalgia or what, but something about it just feels like safe and like, familiar,
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I started watching Twilight Zone because they would do like 24-hour marathons of on like New Year's Day and 4th of July.
4th of July. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I remember watching it and my dad being like, oh, Twilight Zone, I used to watch this. And that was like a bonding thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched WandaVision?
We just finished it yesterday. I watched it with my kids, and like we were hooked like from the beginning. I had no idea what to expect because I'm not super into like Marvel or like comic books or anything. Right. So like I don't know the characters. So I didn't know what to expect, but like oh my God, I think I'm like dreaming about it still. And like it's one of those things where you watch it and it just sticks with you. But yeah, we finished it yesterday. I loved it. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, like I'm the same way. I'm not a Marvel guy, or I'm not a comic book whatever. And so I didn't know the characters, but I love the format of every episode moving up. It was
so good.
Yeah. Did you watch? Go on.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, you go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say like I was just like looking for like all the Easter eggs like after like trying to find out like okay, how did they do this? How did they do that?
Yeah.
Like yeah, but I loved it. So good.
Yeah, it was I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. And I'm not gonna because I know it's fresh, so I don't want to give spoilers or anything.
Yeah.
But the Agatha was great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, loved it.
That's all I'll say.
Do you play? Are you a pinball person at all? Do you enjoy pinball?
No, I don't really do a lot of things.
Fun things, yeah.
I don't do fun things.
Okay.
I don't really understand how pinball works. I feel like you're just like, and I mean, maybe I'm a jerk for saying that. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I stayed at I guess it was kind of like an Airbnb out in Joshua Tree, and they had a whole like trailer that was all pinballs and video games, and I like didn't know what to do with anything, so I didn't do them. I'm sorry.
Well, I only asked that. I recently, in the past like 2 years, I got bit pretty hard by pinball, and so, but like any show, like the Munsters and like Twilight Zone, The Simpsons.
They have a pinball machine.
Yeah.
I've seen The Simpsons one. I feel like I've seen like Munsters or Addams Family.
Yeah, both of them.
I feel like I've seen the Twilight Zone one. I've seen a creature one, like a creature from the Black Lagoon one that was cool. That's another one of our things. Our bathroom is all like creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very coordinated, I think is what it comes down to. I don't know how to like do things.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's just too complicated.
Yeah. I understand that. But yeah, we kind of, to circle back around, I feel like I guided you on a tangent away from the Twilight Zone.
Are we now entering the Twilight Zone again?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man.
So I asked you to prepare a list of episodes.
Yes. My faves.
Your faves.
Okay.
Do you think we could go from 10? Or man, we could just the numbers don't matter. We can just do. Yeah. We can just talk about any, because I had I had 10, and then like a couple honorable mention ones.
Okay.
Do you think?
I mean,
you can match.
You're the host here, man. You're the Rod Serling in the situation.
Yeah.
You lead the way.
Yeah. But do you have like?
I have at least 10 episodes written down that are my favorites.
Your favorites, okay.
So we can chat for sure. But I have a pretty good knowledge, I'd say. Hopefully, I can remember things.
Okay. I'll let you go first with number 10.
Number 10
or whatever.
Okay.
You think.
Okay, so I will say that my number one has always kind of been my number one, but the rest of these kind of fluctuate, and they're just episodes that I really enjoy.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
But this one is called The Midnight Sun. If you're familiar, it's from, let me read my notes. It's season 5 or 3, one of those.
Okay.
Episode 10. And this is the one where the two women are in an apartment and something's happening outside with the weather. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's very hot, and everything's melting, and there's no water, and I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like this has been on the air for like 40, 60 years. 60 years? Like, you should probably know how it ends.
Valerie, yeah, I think we're past the spoilers,
okay.
The spoiler zone.
Yeah. So this young lady is like freaking out, and she's, it's all hot and crazy. And at the end of it, you come to find out that she was just sleeping. It was a fever dream because she had a crazy fever, and you're like, oh, thank God, the world's fine. But then they look out the window and they realize that the Earth is actually orbiting closer or farther away from the sun, so it's freezing.
Colder.
So it's getting colder and everything's freezing instead of getting hot. So that's my number 10. I love that episode. I think it's great. I love those ones that there's no twist until the very end and you're like, oh my God. And then it's kind of like over, done, and yeah, I love those ones.
Was I guess like show wise, Rod Serling was the first person to do like the twist, like endings, like it had been done in like books and stuff for.
Yeah.
That's something that always intrigued me, I guess, that
he was just a master.
He's the first. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he was just like so far ahead of his time in a lot of ways that, I don't know. He just was so talented.
Yeah.
And I love him.
I don't think he gets the respect from the general public that he deserves. Yeah.
It's like people like the Twilight Zone, but they don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just too old for people to understand how great it was. It's so relevant still to this day that I don't know. It's a bummer.
People still teach that old dusty bitch William Shakespeare, in colleges.
You're right. We need to replace him. No more Shakespeare. Sterling only.
Sterling only. Oh man, I think we're on to something.
Yes. What's your number 10?
Number 10 for me was And When the Sky Opened Up.
Which one's that?
Do you remember this one? It's from the first season. It's from the first season.
I'm not good with titles. You need to tell me more.
Me either. I'm getting there. So it's from the first season, and it's the 3 test pilots.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And one of them is in the hospital, like recovering.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
okay.
This was the first this is the first season, so it's the first time where it's like I think the characters are saying like, you don't understand what's going on, trying to convince everybody else around them like
yeah,
there's something bigger going on. What's going on? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like so this is, for the listeners, this is a 3 test pilots in the space program come back from their test flight, and they're in the hospital, and 2 of them get released from the hospital, and the third one is still there, and turns out that they're vanishing one by one, and the way that they're finding out is by looking at like newspapers, and one of the guys calling his parents and being like, we don't have a son, that sort of thing.
There's a lot of that, I think, in the Twilight Zone where they're like, she doesn't have a son. They didn't have a son, or their son's dead. Their daughter's dead.
Right. It's very, very Back to the Future of like, they're vanishing, and then at the very end, it's, test flight, I forget if it was unmanned test flight successful or like,
something like that.
Nobody returns in test flight or something like that. But, yeah, I think that's my 10th.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, this was I assembled this list today. I feel pretty confident in it.
You stand by your picks.
Yeah,
I like it.
Because there's like 160 or 150 episodes in the entire series.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, the 4th season isn't on Netflix. It's on.
I think is that the one that's
Amazon?
That's the season that's an hour?
Yeah.
So they don't have it on there for some reason?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's
a good one. Those are good ones.
But Burt Reynolds is in an episode in that season.
Season 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only know that because I was looking at the wiki earlier today. Yeah.
What stands out?
Yeah.
I love it.
Big Burt Reynolds fan. Cop and a half. Loved it.
Handsome man.
What's what would you say your number 9 is?
Number 9. Okay. Let's see. I'll go with, again, they fluctuate, so this isn't necessarily the end of my list. But
no.
Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up?
Ooh.
Is one of my favorites. I think it's season 2. This is one of those, if you haven't seen it, where a bunch of people end up in a diner and something weird happened. They all start pointing fingers and like, it was you, it was an alien, and weird things started happening with the electronics. And
wasn't there's a bus that is snowing and they can't drive anymore.
There's a storm and something crashed in like a lake or something.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, and there's weird footprints that lead one way. A bunch of weird stuff's happening. I'm still trying to protect people who might not know, because I want to experience it.
Just let loose.
But anyway, at the end of the episode, everyone's pointing fingers and blaming each other, which is another, I think, kind of common theme throughout the Twilight Zone, where it's like when chaos ensues, people just turn on each other and start like freaking out at everybody. I'm doing this a lot. I'm sorry.
Finger guns. Yeah. I can edit that out. Yeah.
All right, cool. So at the end of the episode, one guy's left and he's sitting at the bar with the employee from the restaurant, the diner, and they're talking. And it come to find out, one of them is an alien who is on his way to take over this area, and the other one is also an alien who is already there, and they've intercepted the other alien ship. So they're all Martians.
One is Mars and one is
Venus, I think. Or
Venus.
I think
like the book, right?
Uranus.
There you go.
Women are from Mars.
Martians are from Mars.
Yeah, Martians are from Venus.
Right.
But no, it's I love that one. I think it's super good. I like the ones where there's like, I don't know, just a lot of weird things happening and
like double, triple turns.
Where you're like, this is it. No, this is it. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that one. It's a good one.
Yeah. I think M. Night Shyamalan should be making like yearly donations to whatever the Rod Serling Foundation or.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And there will be overlap in this list.
I'm sure. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is Mirror Image. I think this is also from the first season. It's when the girl is in the bus station and shit starts popping off, and they're like, "This is the girl who's doing it," and she's like, "I haven't been doing all this shit," and it's
she's their doppelganger.
She's having an evil twin type moment,
and she's like, I remember she's in the restroom and like the door opens up and she sees her in the mirror,
right? And
then she's like, "My luggage is here." They're like, "You just checked your luggage." Yes. And I think she's just losing her mind. It's one of those other ones where everyone's like not believing her, and she's like, "You need to listen to me."
I think, I
love that one.
I think maybe for whatever reason that strikes a chord with me, where it's like, "Are you not listening to me? Do you not understand what's going on?" Because I found in my list there's a couple of episodes where that's the main like vehicle of the craziness.
Not being understood.
Yeah. Yeah.
My number 8. Should I do? Oh, I don't know if this is number 8 or not. This might be more up higher. Up higher. Nick of Time is my number 8. Do you know which one that is?
That is.
This one has William Shatner.
Yes.
And and his wife, fiance. I don't know if they're married. I can't remember. But they end up at the Busy Bee Cafe, and they have the mystic seer on the table telling them their fortunes.
Right. A little machine that like puts out a fortune cookie type of message.
Yeah, it spits out the paper.
Right.
And and so he's like, he can't leave. He has to. This machine's telling him everything he needs to know. And I love that one. I think he's, as far as William Shatner goes in like Twilight Zone, because he's also in the other one with the airplane, which is not on my list. Spoiler alert. 20,000 feet or whatever it is.
Is it? Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But
Terror.
I don't know. I prefer
20,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. I preferred this one, the Nick of Time episode, because I just think, I don't know.
I think it's better.
I prefer this episode, and I love it, and I love, the whole the way the little machine looks with little devil head bobbing up and down. It's just so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so that's such a like we were saying how Rod Serling was ahead of his time. He's also like commentary on social stuff of being just like you're depending so much on this one thing and you're not actually living.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And now even more with like technology and whatever, social media, people are way more like, oh, I need this. I need to see Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's addictive for sure.
Wow, Steve, we should try and we should pitch a college level course to.
There has to be one out there.
There has to be. If not,
it's too good not to be.
If not, they're leaving money on the table.
Yeah. Sign me up. I'm in.
Professor Valerie. Let's see. Number 8, I have the After Hours.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
This one?
I love that one.
This one.
Mannequins.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Jesus, Valerie.
Sorry.
My thunder has been stolen.
Next, number 7.
Now, this is one as a kid I remember watching and like really blew my mind of just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So this one for the uninformed listeners, this is a woman is shopping at a department store and what would you say? People start recognizing her, right?
She's looking, or she just purchased a thimble for her mother.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And it's dented, so she wants to return it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't sell this here. Or she's like, I got it on the 9th floor. I was like, there is no 9th floor.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something gets weird. And so she tries to return this thing and she can't. And she ends up going to I think it's the 9th floor. I could be wrong.
Right. A floor.
She goes on the elevator to a floor.
Right.
And
she gets there and it's like all black. It's all dark and there's mannequins in there. And like a center like desk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one lady's like trying to talk to her and she's all creeped out. And then come to find out, this other lady, spoiler alert, was a mannequin the whole time and she was on her 2-week break or whatever and she didn't return. This
bitch. I tell you what. And all the mannequins are like, you get your ass in here. It's my turn.
It's our turn. Yeah. Yes.
It's my.
I love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been, I mean, I guess you're closer to Disney World. I don't know how it is there, but at Disneyland at the Tower of Terror ride, they had like, when you're waiting in line, like in the queue to get inside, they had like the gift shop and it was like looking for a gift for your mother. And it had like a little thimble.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. I love little details like that. I love it.
Yeah. The Tower of Terror in Disney World, they have all that stuff, like all the bellhops and so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. What are we on? 7? 9?
7? Yeah. Okay. Well, have you guys driven through like Jackson or going through like, have you driven through Florida at all?
I've never been to Florida.
There's a Busy Bee, like huge, Buc-ee's?
I think I've seen something Texas, about it. Yeah.
It's a Texas, like 200 pump, like gas station.
Okay.
So there's a Florida version called the Busy Bee, and that, as you were talking about the the nick of time. Yeah, I was like, whoa, my mind was blown.
I've never been there. I would love to go because I don't know where anything is, but Tom Petty has the Gainesville presence and Tom Petty Park and all this stuff. So I would love to go out there and check it out.
Y'all go to Fest one year.
Yeah. When the world opens.
Yeah, when the world opens up.
We'll do it.
Maybe next year. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. We'll see.
You can't. You're not Rod Serling.
I'm not Rod Serling.
You don't know the future.
In a world. No. Okay. Number 7 for you.
Number 7. Okay. So this one, I put The Hitchhiker. Do you know which one that is?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's the one with the super cute lady. She's doing a cross-country, I think, road trip to visit her mom. And there's this weirdo that keeps showing up everywhere, every state, every checkpoint, everything.
Right.
And he's just like hitchhiking. And then she finally calls her mom at the end because she's freaking out. And she can't talk to her mom because her mom's losing her mind because her daughter just died in a road trip to come visit her. So come to find out she's been dead this whole time.
Oh my God.
And then, yeah, I know. And then at the end when she hangs up, she's just like totally like, cool, I'm dead. Like it always kind of bothered me how cool she was with this news. Yeah, at the end she's just like, oh, that explains it. I'm dead. And she just like goes off with the hitchhiker.
Come to think of it.
You can edit this. Can you give me one of these?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, no, I love that one. I love how spooky it is. I don't know. I feel like a lot of my favorite episodes aren't the ones that are everybody's favorite, just because I love almost kind of finding them on my own, I guess, in some way, and be like, this is it. But,
it's special. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, man, M. Night Shyamalan owes money.
So much.
She was dead the whole time.
We should talk about M. Night Shyamalan movies too, because I really like his movies.
I do too.
I was just telling my kids they should watch the Visit last night, but then Eric was like, it might be too scary on a school night.
What does Eric know?
And yeah, what do you know? But no, I love that. M. Night Shyamalan rules.
Oh man!
All right, what's your number 7?
Well,
sorry, I run this show now.
I love The Village, and people hate The Village.
I love The Village too. I love The Village. What did we watch recently that was something like that? I don't know. But no, I feel like a lot of his movies, you know what? Thank you. I even like the one with the trees and Mark Wahlberg. Ooh. And I know a lot of people hate that one.
Happening? Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that one. Sorry.
That's good. Well, yeah, it's because like, I don't know.
Maybe it's just because we're Twilight Zone fans and we can appreciate like, just like a twist, like a simple twist, even if it's kind of weird and dumb. Yeah. You're like, oh, it's still a good story. That's how I feel. At least.
Yeah, the only M. Night Shyamalan movie, I haven't watched the Last Airbender just because that doesn't interest me at all.
Me neither.
And, but like Lady in the Water, maybe that's the only one that I'm like, okay.
I saw that one. I think I saw it at the drive-in, and I don't remember too much about it, so I might be with you on that one.
Yeah.
I just remember an apartment pool.
Yeah. Diving down into the apartment pool, and there's like a cove inside the bottom. Is that the one with
the guy?
One arm.
One big hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we'll talk about that on the next podcast.
Next one. Okay, number 7. That's what we're on?
Yes, we're on 7.
A Nice Place to Visit is what I chose for number 7.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's another one that's like, fuck.
Yeah.
The twist at the end. But yeah, so it's a gangster who, I guess, doesn't he gets shot up.
Dies, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't realize he dies he dies until well, yeah, I guess he knows he dies, but he thinks he's in heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that's the big twist. Yeah.
Right.
And they're like showing him all his records, like used to torment animals and all this stuff, and he gets tired of all the girl. What does he call them? He calls them like dolls.
Broads.
Dolls.
Yeah.
Broads. And at the end, the angel's like, heaven. Whatever gave you that idea?
Well, the guy's like, because he keeps like, he's got gambling and women, and he's like,
and he even wants to like rob some banks. Yeah, he gets bored.
Like, I'm bored, so I want to go to the other place. And he's like, you are in the other place.
The other place. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Whatever gave you that idea? Oh, I love it. That's a good
Pip.
one.
They've got that huge like staircase.
Yeah. Because he goes to check his records or something. Because he's like, I think I'm in the wrong place. I need to see what you got.
Right.
Whatever. That's a good one. Number 6.
Yeah.
My number 6 is from season 3.
Okay.
It's called The Trade-Ins. Do you know that one? It's very sweet. The Trade-Ins.
Trade-Ins.
This one is with John and Marie. They're an old couple. And John, I think, is dying or something. And they want to trade in their bodies for like younger versions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But they only have enough money for one.
Oh, shit.
And, gambling was also a big theme. I think John tries to go gamble his life savings away to buy 2 bodies. But he can't. And so at the end, he gets transformed. He trades in his body. And Marie's like, it's okay. And then they're like, we don't want this. And they both decide to stay old together.
Ooh, that's sweet.
Love.
That's
so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of episodes where it's like the heartwarming like couple stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple on my list. I don't want to spoil my list.
Don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead.
Sorry. Let's see here. Number 6, the Rip Van Winkle caper.
Oh yeah.
This one, I love this one because it's just so. Now, looking back, it's so silly, and you just like dissect it. But this is these people steal $1 million in gold, and they plan to go into the desert and go into like stasis and like sleep for like 150 years or whatever until the heat dies down. Mm-hmm. And so one of the robbers is a scientist, and I know you already know all this. I'm just
no, go.
I'm just going into it.
I'm just like,
and so
tell me the story.
The big brain is like, I've designed these stasis machines where we'll be able to wake up in 150 years and not be aged. And so turns out as they're in stasis, one of the guys has like a boulder fall on his little cage, and he ends up dying just because he's just asleep. And it's 150 years of him. And then the other three get out, and they're all pointing fingers at each other. And they start walking in the desert because one of them destroys the truck to get out of the desert. And eventually they end up killing each other. And some two Jetsons type people in this modern vehicle, Jetsons vehicle, come upon them, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, they have these gold bars." And come to find out, humans figure out how to replicate like gold bars soon after these guys rob this, Fort Knox or whatever. And so it's just like
it's like a waste.
Yeah, it's like, why do we do this? There's so much of that, like with this show, and just thinking about why are we so petty and doing all this bullshit.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's a common theme. Like in a lot of his stuff is like, he was, like I said before, he was so ahead of his time. In a lot of ways, like race relations or for sure.
War,
materialistic stuff and
race relations.
War. Exactly. Yeah. And that's great. I love that.
Yeah. I think he was either in World War II or Korea. I can't remember, but I know a lot of his stuff was anti-war. I think it had to have been Korea, maybe.
I was going to say, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I have a couple books. Like I think I have like a book that his daughter wrote. I haven't finished it yet though, but just from what I have read about him, like he just seemed really awesome and like a great guy.
Yeah.
The end. All right. Are we on number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep thinking like I should jump ahead to my other ones, but this is a good one. This one is from season 5, which is probably like the latest season. A lot of mine go is season 5 for some reason. I don't know. But it's called Night Call. And this is the one with the old lady. She's in another episode too, but I won't talk about that one. But she's in this one, and she keeps getting random phone calls. And it's always just like nobody or grunting. And then finally he starts like talking to her and saying things like, "Hello," like that.
Yeah.
And come to find out, like they go to trace the number. There's nobody there. She goes to the cemetery or where the line ends. The phone line, I don't know what, I can't remember, but the phone line is like connected to the grave of her fiance who died while she was driving a car, and she crashed it and he died. So he always listened to what she said, and she tells him before she knows it's him, she says, "Stop calling me." And then when she knows it's him, she wants him to call because she's so lonely. But then he's like, "I always do what you tell me to do." So he like hangs up. Yeah, I like that one. That one's very, what's that book? The scary book? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yeah.
Scary one?
Yeah.
That one reminds me of like a story like that. Like, it's very short, it's very brief, it's very simple. And it's like, "Oh, you brought this upon yourself." Like, that kind of vibe. So yeah, I love that one. That's a good one.
Are you a big Pee Wee person?
As in Herman?
Yeah.
I mean, not particularly.
Okay.
But why? Did I just do a Pee Wee reference?
No. There's a Large Marge in the Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, man.
They remind me of that for some reason.
Are you saying I remind you of Large Marge?
You don't remind me of Large Marge.
Thanks.
The story does. No.
Where I used to live, the dinosaur was there in Cabazon. Have you ever seen those big giant dinosaurs in Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are right by where my house was. So we used to visit those pretty often. They're fun.
Damn.
The end.
Wow. So are you saying if somebody requested Large Marge play, that's off the table?
Custom play? No, I'm down for whatever, man.
Okay.
As long as you pay me.
That's true.
I did a Twilight Zone theme shoot. I'm planning to do a secondary one because I ordered a spiral like blanket, but it was like way on back order, so I have to wait for that. But here, I'll show you these. I'll give you a little teaser.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, and I also have this one, which might be on your list. I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
Let's see. Cool. All right. Number 5.
Hold on. Okay.
Sorry, I called the shots here now.
No, it's, hey, like I said, the less work I have to do. I love it. And number 5, just happenstance, is Eye the Beholder.
It's like I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So yeah, the classic Eye the Beholder is the what'd you say? Like pig-faced nurse?
Mm-hmm. Pig-faced nurse. Ideas about beauty and social acceptance. Yeah. It's a good one.
And whenever I watch that one, I try and put my mind to when people were watching it, like as it aired initially. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, this must have made people freak out. Like, wait a second.
Oh, yeah.
This woman is very attractive. And they're saying she's not pretty.
This doesn't make any sense.
This doesn't make any sense. Oh,
I love it. I was going to do, as part of my Twilight Zone shoot for my OnlyFans, I was going to do an Eye of the Beholder themed one where I was just like totally nude and had my face wrapped up in an ace bandage.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a dry run. Like I put it on. And something happened. Like my kids called me. I wasn't nude or anything, but my kids called me and I went out with a bandage and I was like, how do I look? Is this weird? And they were both like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, it might be too much.
Have you ever watched that Spanish movie Time Crimes? You heard of that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, it's good. Good sci-fi. Good timey-wimey type of deal.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, can do it.
But yeah.
All right.
What is this, number 4? Quattro?
All right. My number 4 is also from season 5, episode 18, and it's called Black Leather Jackets.
Ooh, shit. Like Teen Idols. Yeah.
Yeah. This is about the band, the Teen Idols.
This is 40 years before the Teen Idols were a band.
Starts Philip Hill.
Yeah.
No, it's about alien dudes that roll in and they're super tough and they have black leather jackets. And I don't know what it is about this episode. It's extremely cheesy and kind of weird and like, I don't know. But spoiler alert, they're aliens. They're here to take over the Earth's water supply, I believe. They're going to poison everybody. But one of them falls in love with his neighbor. Bummer.
Big mistake. Yeah.
Big mistake.
Huge.
Yeah, this one's super huge. This one's super cheesy. I don't know. I just like even the music like is very like I don't know. There's not a lot of dialogue in it. It's a lot of like weird like 50s kind of music, like rock and roll.
Right.
I just love it. I love it for the cheese factor probably more than anything. But and then Philip Hill started the Teen Idols and here we are.
Are you a big Teen Idols fan?
You know what? I loved the Teen Idols. I mean, I love the first album, I think, more than anything. I never got to see them, actually. I saw them break up. When they broke up, it happened in Southern California at this little bar I was at, and I was like the only one watching, and it was like a big kind of, I don't want to gossip or anything, but there was an altercation that happened, and they were like, tour's over, show's done. Over, and then they like left, and I was just like, I was like, 19 or whatever, sitting there like, wait, no, I like you.
Right.
I want to hear you play.
Damn.
But no, I actually did like them a lot. Yeah,
they're great.
For sure. What about you?
I mean, late night picture show. I want to kick through the wall whenever I hear that.
Did you see the I think his name's called Mikey and his Mikey and his uke.
Yeah.
The Big Mouth cover with Heather. She was on vocals. Yeah, it just came out. It has like Dan Vapid, Mast, Regini, Dan Panic, a bunch of people, and they cover Big Mouth by the Muffs, but Heather actually sings vocals, which is kind of cool. Yeah, check it out. It's awesome.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, super cool. Man,
I love pop punk so much. It's so good.
Yeah, man. Me too, man.
I feel like we're just like, we have
best friends. I know.
Well, that too. But on this episode, we have this main theme, which we're sticking to. But there's so many subplots that I'm just like, man.
I feel like we need to start our own podcast together, Michael. Like, honestly, we can just talk about all this stuff that we love.
Done.
Forever.
Pop punk and Twilight Zone forever.
Twilight Zone and M. Night Shyamalan. Done.
the big three. Yeah.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
All right, I want to hear your number 4.
Number 4. My number 4 is To Serve Man.
Yeah.
And
your tattoo, isn't it a To Serve Man one? And some other stuff?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out.
Oh, I feel uncomfortable now.
It's fine, don't show us. It's fine.
No. Well, I think the people, if they're following my Instagram, to the outside camera, they can kind of see it a little bit. But so I've got To Serve Man. I've got I the Beholder, and Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up.
All things we've talked about. This is relevant.
And then I'm going to finish out this
with M. Night Shyamalan's portrait.
M. Night Shyamalan to Haley Joel Osment to the big armed guy.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
No, big armed guy.
Yeah, Bruce Willis from what's that Bruce Willis movie where he's the
Die Hard?
No, where he's the robber and they're singing the song and they're in time with the song, and that's how they know how they're. It's from the 90s.
I'm not a huge Bruce Willis fan.
Me either.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anyway.
Jingle All the Way. Oh, wait, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Edit this. Next.
Maybe my other arm, I've still got some room. I can do a Jingle All the Way.
There you go. Jingle All the Way little thing. Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Oh, man. What? The bad guy from Kindergarten Cop is from and still lives in Mobile, Alabama, which is where I live. And I've seen him.
Are you safe?
At bars.
Oh my God.
And Richard Tyson, that's his name. But anyways,
don't know him.
You probably, I don't think you should. His main claim to fame is he was the bad dad in Kindergarten Cop. Anyways,
it's a pretty good claim, honestly.
Better than me.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. His IMDb is better than mine.
Yeah, right.
But To Serve Man,
it's a good one.
It's a cookbook. What
Spoiler
else?
Alert. I actually, how long ago was it? I don't know. At least like 2 years. But there was the 60th anniversary of Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And I got to see a couple episodes in the theater, and To Serve Man was one of them. And it was really cool to see it on the big screen.
It's classic. The main alien is Jaws from Bond.
Yeah, the main dude was the freaking Addams Family. It's
Lurch, and he was in. Is he the guy that's in?
I don't know why I'm a robot.
What's
he was Lurch in Addams Family.
The guy from Happy Gilmore, the big dude from Happy Gilmore that gets.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but
number 3.
Yeah, let's move forward.
All right, number 3 is one of my favorites, and I've seen this a million times, but like I forgot until I was like kind of doing some research.
Yeah.
There's a character named Valerie in the episode, but it's number 12. Looks just like you. Do you remember that one?
What is that one?
This is the one where when you reach a certain age, you have to undergo surgery to become a number, like you become a person, like everybody looks the same. And in this one, the girl doesn't want to do the transformation. She wants to stay who she is, but you're supposed to pick out a number, like who you want to be. And all of the people look the same. And then at the end of it, like she's fighting and fighting. She doesn't want to do it. She ends up going through with the surgery. And when she comes out, her best friend is named Valerie, and she's talking to her, and they pick the same number. And she's looking at her and she's like, the best part, Valerie, is that I look just like you. Like, it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that one. It's just about like, conformity and fitting in, which is, I think, it goes back to Eye of the Beholder. A big part of a lot of his stuff is like fitting in with like society's norms.
Right.
And I love that one. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird one, coming of age story about a girl who's trying to fight back and she wants to be an outcast and she wants to be herself, but she can't because she's not strong enough or whatever, Yeah. I like that one.
Got to deal with the social bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 12. What's your number 3?
Mine. This is one of the crossover ones that Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up is my third one.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so good, so classic, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
It's just the double turn is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like, he's the alien. Oh, he's the alien.
Right. They're both the alien.
I love it. Yeah. All right, are we on number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 is also from season 1, and it is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Yes.
You know that one.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
Love it.
I love that one. It kind of relates to everything we talked about with Patrick Swayze, because one of the main dudes in that one of the neighbors, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a neighborhood. A lot of chaos starts happening. There's weird things happening. Cars won't start. And then a little boy who's he's kind of like the dick of the whole thing. Like, he comes in, he puts this idea into his neighbors' heads that they came from outer space and there's aliens and it could be any one of us. But one of the neighbors is, he plays Max Kellerman in Dirty Dancing, which is like the guy who owns the big resort that Patrick Swayze works at. Yeah. So I don't know if that's why I love this episode, but it probably is. But no, it's a really good episode. Just like kind of how we talked about it, people just kind of like, something's wrong, and then they turn on each other and chaos ensues. But at the end of the episode, we find out that this is part of an alien takeover. So they slowly just take away the electricity and cause chaos in little neighborhoods one by one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everyone kind of turns on each other. So yeah, I love that one. Yeah. It's a good one.
It's it's I think people do that a lot in when push comes to shove. A lot of people start pointing fingers.
Oh, for sure.
Number 2. Okay. My number 2 is The Masks.
Oh yeah.
The Masks. So it's this old guy has his kids who are kind of, all of them are dickheads.
Total.
He's on the verge of death, and it's Mardi Gras, and so he's like, oh, wear these masks all night and you guys will get your inheritance, type of deal. And so they're like, oh, whatever, father, we need our money. That old like mid-Atlantic voice, like type of just like, oh, but yeah, so these just brat kids are just like, we don't want to wear these masks, and just the bare minimum to get money from their dad who's dying. And so it's just so much like people are just assholes and just want to do the bare minimum, even for like even their somebody who's supposed to be close to them, but the good twist is that they their faces turn into their shitty masks at the end. Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, he presents their masks like, oh, it's a face of, greed or whatever. But it's not like you, because you're so wonderful and sweet and generous, Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I've always it's because I'm a creep, but like the mask that the dad wears, like the skull mask, and then he transforms into it, at the end when he's dead. That's always been like one of my favorite images.
Ooh, yeah.
So like, I don't know. There's something about like his skull mask that I love. So then I discovered this band called the Misfits, and Marky Ramone. I'm just kidding.
Marky Ramone and his wig.
And the Marky Ramone, and he didn't want to meet me. Oh, I love that one. That's a great one.
Right. Have you guys been to New Orleans or Mardi Gras?
Never. I would love to go to New Orleans. It's always been like one of my number one. If I ever have money and can get away, like I want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
New Orleans is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see like a New Orleans funeral, and I want to like, I want to go, have someone put a spell on me. Like I want to do it all.
You can do it. Yeah. It's there.
Anything in New Orleans. All right. Are we on number one?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. So my number one is A Stop at Willoughby.
Ooh, yes.
Are you familiar?
Yes, I am.
I
Tell the people.
love this one. This one's from season 1. And I also learned that it was Rod Serling's favorite from season 1, which made me feel like I was on the right track when I found that out.
Right.
But for those unfamiliar, it's about this guy that's like super unhappy in his life and his work and his like home life. And he gets on a train coming home from work, and he kind of drifts off when he wakes up. They're stopping in this town, and he looks out the window, and it's like very old timey and like, like just calm. And it's like on the train, it's winter, but like in this town, it's like summer. So it's like very comforting. And he goes home to his wife, and she's just an asshole, and like goes to work, and they're all assholes. And then he's like, I need to go to Willoughby. It's so nice. And then finally at the end of the episode, he ends up going into Willoughby, and he's like talking to everyone. He's like, I'm going to stay here with you. This is where I want to be. And then when the twist happens, you find out that like it just goes back to like present day, and he's dead. And they're like, he just jumped off the train. We don't know what happened. He said Willoughby in the snow. And then the door shuts on the hearse, and it says Willoughby and Sons Funeral Home or whatever.
Next stop, Willoughby. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that one. Like there's something so like sad in it, like.
Well, it's a longing, for something that doesn't exist,
Exactly. And like this dude died for it to get there. Like literally jumped off a train.
I don't care if it isn't real.
Yeah, I just want it, Willoughby. But I don't know. Like I love it. Like I love things like that are kind of like sad and like a longing, and I feel like I relate to it. But
yeah, well, it's like
I don't know. And in some way, it's like a happy ending too. Like he got where he wanted to be.
Right,
like he's out of that. So
well, yeah, it's like
that's my number one.
Yeah, they it's wanting something that doesn't exist and just going for it, and then just like, okay,
yeah,
I'm fine that it doesn't exist, but I'm there, type of deal,
right?
I don't know. That's a weird, like, I might be reading too much into this. It's a weird, like, when people have big dreams, especially, I relate to that with like doing like band stuff where it's like, I'm just going to put a dumb amount of money and a dumb amount of like heart and effort into this thing. Maybe people will like it. I hope they do, but they might not. But
but yeah, it might not pay off.
Yeah. And it probably won't pay off. But yeah.
So, I mean, you could. No, I mean, I don't want to scare you, but you could die tomorrow. Like you might as well do what you want. You might as well enjoy life. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
I think I live life that way. Within reason. Yeah. So my number one, man, we're getting deep. My number one is 5 characters in search of an exit.
Oh, In Search of an Exit. Yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's another one that's so it's these 5 characters. One's like a army sergeant, whatever, and one's a clown, and one's a ballerina. Is one a cowboy, or I can't remember the
I only remember those 3.
Right? Yeah, I can't remember the other 2. So it's like 3 just like generic like characters, pretty much, and they're all just like these like well-rounded characters, being like we gotta get out of this, we're trapped here, in this
Yeah, they're in some weird room where they can't really figure out.
Right. It's like
what's going on.
A circular room, and there's we gotta get out of here somehow. And so they eventually, one of them, I think the army guy, gets out, and turns out they're all just like dolls in a bucket type of deal.
Like a donation thing.
Right. Yeah. And so it's just like, damn, that's deep.
Yeah. That's a good one. I love that one too.
Yeah.
You said you had honorable mentions too, right?
I do. Yeah. That reminded me of like Toy Story though. Whenever I was reading back through that,
it's kind of like thrown away.
You think that's fair? Because it's like the Toy Story toys don't know that. Well, I guess they know that they're toys, but it's just like we have to not be toys at some point, and we just gotta.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's deep.
Damn, Valerie. Weird man.
Michael.
I didn't expect to cry. I'm about to cry.
It's okay.
No. One thing. Do you have extra episodes that are honorable?
I have a few.
Okay.
The first one that comes to mind is probably Ring-a-Ding Girl. Do you know that one?
Which one is that
one? She is an actress, and she's coming home to like see her family.
Yeah.
And she's gonna go to like a picnic and all this stuff, and she has a little like ring that like is showing these weird things happening.
Okay.
Like cloudy visions, like of premonitions.
Yeah.
And then she ends up like leaving her family, and comes to find out that she was actually in a plane crash on the way there. She never got there.
Ooh.
But she like visited her family afterward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that one. What about you? What else? Another honorable mention? Let me see.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see here.
There's so many. Like we could just talk about the whole like
Right.
series.
We can just go episode by episode.
Yeah.
An occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. Do you remember this one?
That's the French one, right?
That's the one that won like
a French thing.
Yeah, it was a It was a Civil War. Guy gets he's about to get executed by getting hanged, and he falls into the river when they're trying to hang him, and I don't know, it's so artsy fartsy, and it I think it's like something that was artsy in the way that Twilight Zone deserves, but it got recognized for this episode of being like, oh, this was shot very well and sound was good and all that stuff. But anyways, the story was this guy is about to get hanged and hanged, whatever.
Hung.
But anyways, so he falls into the river and he gets out and he escapes and he goes to see his family and all that stuff, and turns out he didn't really escape and ended up dying. Yeah, that was one that was like, damn, that's fucking deep.
And that one got like a ton of like attention and stuff. Like you said, it like won some awards and stuff.
I think it went to Cannes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's just one of those things where it's like Twilight Zone deserves this, and this was just one that was artsy enough.
Yeah, like stood out.
Right.
Oh yeah. There's so many good ones. How do you feel about the Twilight Zone movie? Do you like that one?
Like from the 80s?
80s? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watched it.
I liked it. I loved it. I don't know.
I mean, I like it.
I think though, as I saw it so much as a kid before I really had an appreciation for the Twilight Zone.
Right.
So I think like I just enjoyed it as a movie.
Yeah.
And then when I got older, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't tried to watch the redo, the Jordan Peele.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I will say there's an episode where they reference Dee Dee Ramone. His grave.
Ooh.
There you go.
I've watched that.
I really enjoyed it. Like,
Really?
there were a couple episodes that were like, meh, but there were a few that like really stood out. And I think there's like 2 seasons now, right? I don't recall, but they were good. Like, as someone who's like a huge Twilight Zone fan, I was afraid I was gonna like hate it.
Right.
But I tend to, especially with like remakes and stuff. Like, I try to like step back and just kind of like appreciate it for like what it is on its own.
Right.
Before I start getting too technical about like, oh well, they didn't do this or whatever.
Right.
But no, yeah, I think you should watch, especially as a Twilight Zone fan. I think you'd enjoy it. It's very entertaining. It's good. There's a lot of like little Easter eggs and like homages to like other things, you know. So it's kind of fun. But yeah,
I have one more honorable mention episode.
I want to let's hear it.
One.
I probably can think of one.
Okay,
you go first while I brainstorm.
Okay. The one is Nothing in the Dark, where it's the old woman is not letting people into her apartment under the stairs.
That's the same lady who's in Night Call. It's the same old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robert Redford is in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah. Yeah,
then he's like a soldier or something, right? When he comes in there.
He's a police officer and he gets shot.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, please let me in." But it turns out he's death the whole time. Yeah. So do you have a honorable mention episode?
Yeah.
You want to talk about?
I can't remember the name of it. There are so many episodes that are just like I love and I hold dear to my heart. But the first one that came to mind was, God, I can't remember. I wish I knew the name of it. But it's the couple and they're in this town and everything just seems a little off and fake and weird. And they like knock over a squirrel and it's like a fake squirrel and all these weird things are happening. They at first are just like, oh, we partied too hard last night. We were really drunk. We ended up here. Then when the twist happens, you find out that they have actually been abducted by aliens and they're like in a child's dollhouse.
Yes.
Which is so good.
Isn't there one where it's not the dollhouse, but it's aliens are watching humans in a like zoo type situation?
Oh, where they abduct them and they put them in the habitats?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that one too.
Man.
There's so many that are like that where like I remember, but I can't recall them specifically because I haven't, I don't know, obsessed over them, I guess, but it's still like, I remember that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird because it's just like, we're a small amount of steps away from just being like on the other side of the exhibit. I feel like, you know? Mm-hmm. And maybe, I don't know. We're getting so deep. I feel like we are on the other side of the exhibit. I don't know who the people are, you know, viewing us with social media and stuff like that. Wow. That just hit me. Well, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, man. It was fun.
I feel like this is a good episode. Do you have any parting words of wisdom for the people?
Don't be a jerk. Be nice to people. We're all in the Twilight Zone together, so be cool, man.
Shit.
Sex work is work. Respect and tip your sex workers. And if you would like to follow me anywhere online, my Instagram is ValerieIsRad77. My OnlyFans is onlyfans.com. Valerie is rad.
Man, do it. Thank you, Valerie. Stay on for a second. You had options. You decided to talk to me. Thanks.
Thank you so much.